What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV and your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the internet wherever you are, because that's what we like to do for you, Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. We're devoted to you. That's why I come on here, 5 p.m. Eastern, and talk some Packers with the fine folks already in the comments section. And a big shout out to Alan. Thanks for playing Aaron Nagler in the comments as you were waiting for me. Pretty good job, too. You deep in the conclusion of can't agree with your detective work, and let's wait to see them in pads. Look, when you get asked the same question 400,000 times, you're going to have some repeat answers. I'm sorry. But a great job, nonetheless. How does every couple years does Kirk Cousins become overrated then underrated? People can't even peg a realistic expectation on the $84 million man. It's just interesting from the Vikings standpoint, looking at the fact that they had a pretty decent offense the year before, bringing Cousins on board and a quarterback who may not have been a world beater, but was certainly good enough for them to win a lot of ball games. They came with, one game away from the Super Bowl. But for whatever reason, they had to go get the new shiny toy, as they always seem to do. So, as far as Cousins himself, who knows? Would I have given him that contract? Hell no. But the Vikings did. I don't think I'll ever regret that they did. What's up from Myrtle Beach? What's going on? What's up with Zachary? Tim, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Racine in the house. Tom Grassi, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us live. Always a pleasure to communicate with a fellow Packers YouTuber, blogger extraordinaire. Yo from North Dakota, what's up? Ryan, what are the odds that Mike Daniels is re-signed? Long. The odds are long on Mike Daniels getting a third contract in Green Bay. Now, maybe they come to some kind of arrangement with a hometown discount and Mike sticks around, but that's what it's going to take for him to remain in Green Bay, because I can't imagine the Packers shelling out a third contract for Daniels up front when they've got a lot of talent along that defensive front and a lot of money spent. Kenny Clark ready to be paid in a couple years. I just can't imagine them sinking more money into Mike Daniels. Now, like I said, maybe they come to some kind of way of working a contract, incentive-laden, etc. Who knows? That helps them cap-wise, lets them stick around. But seeing salary cap going up every year, the market for his services, such as they would be on the open market, I can't imagine he and his representatives turning around and giving the Packers a hometown discount. Now, again, maybe that changes. Maybe I'm wrong. Nagler's never right. But I think he'll make a boatload of money on the open market, and I can't see that happening in Green Bay. Kyle, why yes, there is something very exciting about halfway down the homepage of Cheesehead TV. It's a link to Ticket King for anybody who's looking for Green Bay Packers tickets. Whether you're looking for home games, away games, preseason games, possible postseason games, Ticket King's got you covered. They've been around since 1992, physically located across from Lambeau Field. They can handle any requests you have for any tickets regarding the Green Bay Packers. Ticket King. Check them out at cheeseheadtv.com. When will you announce the games you're going to? I didn't know I needed to announce them. At this point, just assume I'm going to be at all the home games. How's that? All the away games, I'll be here in the studio. Home games, I'll be in Green Bay. Aaron, I know it's early, but is there enough O-line depth on this roster as of now to let Jason Spriggs go this year? Woo, this year. I'm not ready to say this year. Maybe that changes throughout camp. Maybe we see enough from Turner kicking out. Maybe the other guys get a chance. I know Cole Madison's been running up and down the line. Maybe he shows out at tackle enough to let Spriggs walk, but I'm not there yet. Let's see what happens in camp. But and I've said this often. I know Spriggs is a nightmare on 3rd and long, but outside of that down and distance, he's actually very serviceable. And given the state of offensive line play around the league, you don't want to jettison guys just because you've had, obviously a few very, not more than a few bad outings with Spriggs there, but you can get through a game with him. You can win games with him at right tackle. They've done it. Left tackle, God help us. But right tackle, they can do it. They can make it work. I just don't kick those guys to the curb. That's just me. Do you think screens are going to be implemented more in Lefleur's offense? All three backs are perfect for screens. Daniel, I don't know about traditional screens. I think they will utilize them somewhat, but I do think you'll see the ball in the running back's hands more in the passing game. Now, maybe not via screen, but I do think you'll see all three backs, as you mentioned, utilized a lot more in the passing game. As far as, will they be focusing on / utilizing screens more? That remains to be seen. That's really down to the play caller, and we don't have a whole lot to go on when it comes to Lefleur's history calling plays. 1 year in, what's your take on Gutekunst's first draft class? Well, it's early, but you really like the potential you got in Jair. After that, it's a lot of wait and see. Look, I know some guys kind of showed out. You really like what you saw from the wide receivers that he got, obviously later in the draft. But again, very up and down, a lot of potential, way too early to put too much of a stamp on anything there. You definitely need Oren Burks and Jamal Moore to give you something this year. Really disappointing showing from those guys last season. So it's way too early to say anything definitive. Still a lot of potential, a lot of upside. Need to start hitting their stride this season. Keep Spriggs for depth. Start him against Khalil Mack next year. You guys are funny. Ruvel Martin or Jarrett Boykin? Ruvel Martin all day, every day. That's not even a question. You see a lot of rookie head coaches look really solid before they get figured out. Nathan, I think there's something to that, and I think it kind of works the opposite way as well, where they kind of stub their toe along the way and then hit their stride. I think you've seen both play out in the NFL. I'm interested to see how much of a black and white to color moment there is with this offense, because that's certainly what you saw in LA with McVay. And I don't expect McVay-like fireworks, but I do expect the offense to look much more efficient with Lefleur running it, scheming it, calling the plays, etc. How quickly that happens and gels, it's kind of the allusion to the title of this stream. I expect the offense to walk before it runs. I don't think they're going to come out of the gate putting up 30 points a week, but I do think you're going to see a much more efficient operation on the offensive side of the ball. At least that's my hope, because God knows I can't handle going down to 1 second on the play clock every fucking time like we did last year. Let's head over to Twitter, shall we? See what's going on. The old tweet machine, starting with Davante Adams has talked up the rookie safety, Darnell Savage. How good can this kid be in his rookie year? You know where Davante Adams probably read that or heard that? On this here chat, because I've been talking up Darnell Savage since they drafted him. I accuse Davante Adams of hopping on board my hype train. No, I'm kidding. Yes, he has been talking him up, has been very complimentary about what he's seen in practice. The sky's the limit. How good can he be his rookie year? He can be a difference maker. Now, I'm not ready to sit here and say he's going to make All-Pro or even Pro Bowl, but I think he can be a difference maker, a playmaker, a sideline-to-sideline force that we have not seen in Green Bay since Nick Collins. And again, I'm not saying he's going to step on the field and be Nick Collins, but it is going to be very noticeable very quickly how good this kid is. That's all I'm going to say. Have you been watching Gary's Instagram videos of him working out? Guy looks insanely athletic. What are your thoughts on how he looks so far? I don't really care. I don't care about Instagram videos. I don't care about workout videos. Every guy in the NFL is working out. Every guy in the NFL looks amazing on workout videos, on Instagram videos. I don't care. That's just me. I know they get people hyped and it's very exciting, etc. I just don't care. Doesn't mean anything. Hopefully coming to Lambeau this year for the game versus the Redskins. I'm from DC, which would be my second ever game at Lambeau. I didn't get to tour around Green Bay on my first trip, so what must-do should I do when I come back? Steve, the number one thing I suggest and I advocate is doing the historical tour that you can get around. It's somewhat around Lambeau, but also around Green Bay proper. Lots of really cool historical stuff in regards to the Green Bay Packers, their history leading up to the present day. Do that. Go to Kroll's, get a Butterburger, and you're set. Could be in the minority here, says Tyler, but I believe the Packers' success in 2019 isn't going to be defined by our defense, but rather how our offensive line protects Rodgers. Protect 12, the offense stays on the field, the defense stays rested, domino effect. That's a possibility. I do think getting Rodgers more protection obviously was a major priority this offseason, bolstering the offensive line, which I think they've done. I think part of that will be the offensive line. Part of that will be the design, the scheme, getting the ball out of Rodgers' hands quickly, efficiently. I'm alluding to what I was talking about before. I think the defense will be part of the success. And I don't think necessarily means because the offense stays on the field more, they're more rested, etc. I think that's a bit overblown, although there's probably something a little bit to it. Ultimately, it's going to be about Mike Pettin making those disparate parts all work together. I think both units are going to have to complement each other, regardless of one side or the other. How truly big of an impact does winning another Super Bowl have on Rodgers' legacy? Is it fairly solidified already? Bears still suck. Hashtag Matthew. Thank you. Yes. The Rodgers legacy stuff is always interesting to me. It's like, he's one of the best we've ever seen play the position, period. Like, yes, he won a Super Bowl. People may want to say only one Super Bowl, but that was an insane run that they had. And then he had another insane run in the, what was the phrase he used? Run the table. That 2016 season, the second half, is one of the most insane quarterback play anyone has ever produced ever in the history of the planet. So, like, his legacy, to me, is solidified. He's one of the best to ever do it, period. And if he wins another Super Bowl, great. I think most people feel that way. I think the talking heads, the national media like to gin up controversy, so they'll say, maybe he's not a Hall of Famer, which is absurd. Bob McGinn wrote as much, and that's absurd. That's Bob McGinn writing on a website when he really needed an editor to step in and go, he's a Hall of Famer. So, yeah, Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. Everything else, to me, he could win more championships, and it would augment his already great status, but he's one of the greats, period. What are the quarter lengths going to be, and which team are you going to pick when you clean Tom Grossi's clock in Madden? And will there be special guests doing commentary? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, Uncultured Barbarian, I'll let you know. And I love the GIF. That's fantastic. 5-minute quarters. We're both playing the Packers. I'll be playing home Packers. He'll be playing away Packers, since we'll be playing here in this studio, my home field. And yes, there will be a special guest doing commentary. That will be Mr. Corey Banke, who will be manning the live chat as he does for all our Madden previews. So you guys can heckle, make fun of my play, whatever, as I wipe the floor with Tom Grossi. Let's head back over to the live chat, shall we? How many interceptions will Grossi throw? Kevin, it's really, there hasn't been a number invented yet that can truly encapsulate the many turnovers that he will be suffering. Do Josh Jones jerseys being marked down imply something about his future? Good question. Probably. Is Lefleur still driving around on a golf cart? I hope not. At least not during the off season. I hope he's laid up somewhere, chilling, relaxing, letting that foot heal. This is a great question, Spencer. Is McCarthy the Vikings coach this time next year? Is that good, bad, or just good for content? Spencer, it would be amazing for content. And I actually thought that there was an outside chance that Zimmer would get fired last year. And I thought that would be perfect for Mike to step in Minnesota, face the Packers twice a year. Oh my gosh. I got to admit, I'm openly rooting for it. I want that to happen. I really do. Just as you say, the content would be amazing. That'd be fun. Twitter would be burning every day McCarthy does anything with the Vikings. I so want that to happen. Will it be an advantage early in the season because there will be no tape on the Packers offense, or more of a disadvantage because they will still be in a learning phase? Bit of both, actually. As far as the flow of the game and the play calling and tendencies, etc., yeah, there will be a bit of an advantage because there's not much to go on. Yeah, there's a year of Lefleur calling plays in Tennessee, but the situation is so different, especially at quarterback, that it's really kind of hard to garner anything from it. On the flip side, yeah, they're going to be, as I alluded to earlier, they're going to be walking before they run. And it's going to take a while for them to get all on the same page. And that's not even just specific to the Packers this year. That's just historically in, when new coaches come in and implement new offenses, that's just the NFL norm. Usually it takes about half a year for that, first year offense to start clicking. And I expect the same to happen in Green Bay. We'll see. Chewbacca, tight end or edge rusher? I'd put him at tight end. Let him dominate over the middle. Take on, some of those bigger dudes trying to cover the middle. Pull them over. Give me Chewie at tight end. Next, what are your thoughts on Raven Green? Alex, we've talked about him a little bit here. The upside is there, the athletic upside. Don't know how much, we can count on him on that as far as being that extra safety, which is where they've been running him so far in the offseason during OTAs and minicamps, the position that Whitehead had before he was let go. There's just not enough tape there to really get an evaluation. But I like what I've seen so far. It's just there's not a lot yet to go on. But like I said, the upside is definitely there. The intangibles, who knows? It'd be fun to watch at camp, though. Javon Walker or Robert Ferguson? Javon Walker every day till Sunday. Good Lord, that's not even a question. Do you see the Packers ever being good at the end around anytime soon? Not really. It's never been their thing. Hasn't been their thing probably since James Lofton ran it. So we'll see. Maybe Lefleur brings in a new era of the end around. What do you think about Aaron Jones returning kickoffs? Not a fan, Brett. Not a fan. I'd rather see Trevor Davis returning kickoffs, actually, to be honest. Pro Football Focus just said that Green Bay Packers offensive line is the best pass-blocking offensive line in football. What say you? I'm sure. I mean, individually, why not give them that grade? Sure, go ahead. But I got plenty of tape for you on the old rollouts and bootlegs last year. Those suggest otherwise. And yes, I understand they're talking about as a cohesive unit, and yeah, they were good for the most part. But they also had issues. Matthew, I saw that as you retracted it. Yes, the offseason is boring, but that's why we're here, to alleviate some of that boredom. I mean, you're more than welcome to go do whatever else you want to do, but we're going to sit here and talk some Packers, man. Oh, Timo, will Sterling Sharp ever be in the Hall of Fame? Should he be? Absolutely. Will he ever be? Man, I don't want to say I doubt it, but I doubt it. I mean, I was kind of starting to get through the logjam of wide receivers there. But, man, he is the next, after Leroy Butler, he is the next great kind of campaign for Packers fans. But we got to get Butler in first. Will Savage's career be constantly compared to Derwin James since they passed on him? I doubt it, because you've got Jair there. You've got to use both of them, right? They passed on Derwin James, but got Jair, and they got Savage. So, yeah, I doubt that. I mean, not the way that a certain other corner is being compared to an edge rusher that they didn't take, whose name I will not use on this here chat. What was the worst Packers loss you ever experienced as a fan? I don't know if you're talking about in person or on TV, but on TV, a Monday night game against the Titans, home game during Mike Sherman's tenure, they lost like 50 to something. I don't remember what it was. And people were streaming for the exits early in the fourth quarter. And I was on tour with the Full Monty at some rinky-dink hotel. And we had all the guys, we had gathered, we were all football fans, and we all gathered to watch the game. And everyone knew I was a Packers fan, so we were all excited. I was all geared up, and that game just got away from them so quickly. And it was raining, and it was just awful. And I don't think I've ever been that as depressed as I was that night. There have been a lot of bad losses, the Seattle loss, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that night and that situation, as excited as I was, because during that year, I never got to see them play live. I was going to see them play live. All my buddies, and of course, they were merciless in making fun of me. as the Packers got their ass kicked on national television. And then I was gone and I was away from home and I missed my family. That night sucked. Let's see what else we got. Between you and Grossi, who do you see being more aggressive defensively? Shane Wilson, I see you're just like you're a plant. You're trying to glean some scouting information for Grossi. I'm not falling for it, Grossi posse. I know what's up. I'm a tumbo at you. Let's see. I know, I love it. It's just like a stream of people with their worst Packers losses ever. Oh, God. Was that the game when Brad Hoover, a backup fullback, ran all over them? No, Brad Hoover, Barbarian. Brad Hoover didn't he play for Carolina? That was a bad one too, though. That game sucked big time. I'm pretty sure Hoover was Carolina. And there were a couple Carolina games. There was a national game that they got destroyed by Carolina that sucked. But none of those national games in Carolina will ever compare to the horror show that was the Ray Rhodes year and the Steve Berline quarterback draw at the end of the 99 campaign. Oh, that game. Holy cow. I actually wrote a song about that game. It's a true story. Like that game, talk about wanting to like jump off a bridge after a game. Holy cow. Man, now it's just going to be like a floodgates of like the most horrible Packer losses ever. Ooh, most interceptions on the team this season. Kevin King. Put me down. I actually just talked about that on my podcast, Nagler's Never Right, which is available for our patrons at our Patreon page, exclusively available at Patreon. Kevin King. I think you got Jair probably locking down the number one. Maybe some help rolling his way sometimes, depending on how good that guy is. I think Kevin's going to get a lot of opportunities, and he's going to get his hand on a lot of footballs. And yes, I believe in Kevin King. I believe he will stay on the field this year. Give me King. Brian Balaga, Iowa. What star or big name Packer do you see on the roster now that won't be there come week one? Walter, actually no one. I get asked this a lot, like who surprise cuts, etc. And you know, if there's a candidate, maybe Mason Crosby, but I even that I don't think will happen. Or Brian Balaga. I know his name gets bandied about a lot, and I think all of those people, I think most if not all of them, will be on the roster come week one. I don't see a potential real, actual surprise cut. Now, who knows? That's why they call it a surprise, right? But I do think there won't be a shocking cut this season. But we'll see. Grossi has a posse. Nagler's fans are, question mark, Chuck, Nagler's fans are delusional, is what they are. Or just non-existent. If Kevin King can stay healthy, our defense will surprise the league. Nerdy kid, I don't know about surprise the league, but I agree that they will be very good if he can stay on the field. I mean, the numbers and the tape back that up last year. When he's on the field, they are a different defense. You can keep him on the field with Jair, you're really cooking with gas. You can do a lot more as a defensive coordinator. And even, Tremont being there. He's kind of been the forgotten man because, he had to switch positions last year. Older guy, you think, okay, you're not going to get that much out of him. But I think the three of them are a real lethal combo. And if you can just keep them on the field together at corner, I think they can do a lot of lockdown and get after quarterbacks and really, really maybe surprise some people. Nagler, in fact, you are the one getting me through this boring offseason. Well, Matthew, thank you. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for checking out what we do here at Cheesehead TV. And with that, I'm going to have to jump. Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, if you're so inclined, please like, share, subscribe on YouTube, share on Facebook. Join our Patreon. $5 a month supports everything we do and gets you exclusive access to my podcast, Nagler's Never Right, the latest installment of which went up this afternoon. In the meantime, check out Ticket King. If you need Packers tickets, you can find it at cheeseheadtv.com. I'll be back with some extra cheese later this week. Have a great night, everybody. Take it easy.